Okporo was a village hidden from the world, small, quiet, wrapped in thick forest and old superstitions. Life there moved like an old drumbeat, slow, steady, familiar. Children chased goats through red dust. Women laughed as they pounded yam under mango trees. Elders dozed in the shade, their words few but final. But then, people began to disappear. It started with Ediora, a girl with a laugh like dancing bells. She left to fetch firewood one evening and never came back. Search parties combed the forest. Her mother wailed for days. All they found were her slippers, lying near the roots of the Odo tree, a massive tree said to predate the village itself. 3 days later, Check the Pomwine Tapper vanished too. His climbing rope was still tied to the palm, swaying in the morning breeze, but no sign of him, no cry, no struggle. It was as if he had simply dissolved into air. Fear spread fast. Whispers filled the market. The forest spirits are angry. The land wants blood. It's a cause someone has offended their ancestors. Children were forbidden from walking alone. The stream path was abandoned. Women stopped going to the farms. The birds in Okporo began to sing quieter, and even the goats bleated less. Fear had its hand on everyone's shoulder. The village elders called for a crisis meeting under the ancient Ogboko tree, where serious matters were discussed: wars, famines, deaths. The Igwe, Chief Maduka, stood before the people, his face shadowed by age and concern. Okporo has never known such a thing, he said. But we will not be ruled by fear. The gods do not abandon those who listen. But listening was not enough for Obina. He was 16, wide-eyed, sharp-tongued, and full of inconvenient questions. His mother often scolded him, "Obi, your mouth will carry you into a lion's stomach." But he couldn't help it. He didn't believe in vague talk of spirits. He wanted answers. When Ifunanya, his older cousin, the one who taught him to make rabbit traps and climb palm trees, also vanished, Obina reached his breaking point. He stopped listening to the elders. He stopped waiting for miracles. One night, under the pale gaze of the moon, he snuck out with only a torchlight, his slingshot, and a gourd of water. He walked through the village outskirts, past the stream, and into the forest where the air was thick with moisture and old secrets. He went straight to the Odo tree. The silence there was heavier than night itself. But Obina wasn't afraid. He noticed the earth near the roots had been disturbed, like something had been buried. Then he spotted footprints. Human. Fresh. He followed them. Deeper and deeper into the forest, beyond the shrines and the hunters' paths, until he reached a place he had never seen: a clearing with a small, crooked hut in the center. The hut looked abandoned, leaning like it was ashamed. But on its door were symbols, strange carvings that looked like eyes and toothless mouths. Then, he heard a cough. A human cough, faint, raspy, coming from inside. Obina's heart pounded. He stepped forward, pushed the door slowly, and saw something that froze his breath. Inside were 5 people, thin, frightened, alive. Edora. Chike. Ifunanya. A boy from the next village. A woman he didn't recognize. They stared at him like he was a ghost. And in the corner of the room, sitting beside a dead fire, was a man mumbling to himself, eyes wide, face hollow. It was Papa Izenwa, the village herbalist. The man everyone thought had gone senile after losing his wife and child to fever years ago. Obina asked, "Why? What is this?" Edora stepped forward. "He took us. He said the land needed cleansing. That we were sacrifices." Her voice broke. "He drugged us with smoke, brought us here one by one." Obina's torch flickered. He turned and ran. He had to tell them. He had to bring the light. Obina stormed into the village square in the dead of night, soaked in sweat, mud on his legs, voice hoarse from shouting. He pounded on the gates of Chief Maduka's compound, waking the guards, waking the dogs, waking the entire council. "I found them," he yelled. "They are alive. He's been hiding them, Papa Izenwa." In less than an hour, a crowd of villagers, torches in hand, cutlasses ready, followed Obina back through the same path. Women prayed. Men cursed under their breath. The night trembled. And when they reached the hut, the truth stared them in the face. The missing were there, weak, frightened, blinking against the firelight. And Papa Izenwa. He was crouched in the corner, rocking back and forth, whispering, "Balance, balance must be restored." They tied him with rope. Back in the village, he was interrogated by the elders. His hut was searched. Inside, they found journals filled with madness. He had once been Okporo's most trusted herbalist. But grief twisted him. He believed his family's death was punishment from the gods. That the village had turned unclean. That only disappearances could bring harmony. He'd chosen his victims carefully, young, alone, or too curious. He used special herbs to sedate them, convinced the widow he once healed to help him. She brought food, whispered to them through the door, telling them the gods were watching. Okporo shook. Not because of what had happened, but because of who had done it. Someone they all knew. Someone they trusted. Chief Maduka addressed the people again. The danger was not in the forest. It was in our silence. In our fear. In ignoring the one boy who refused to shut his mouth. He turned to Obina. "Your mouth, child, may have saved this village." Aftermath. The forest was cleansed with rituals and prayers. The hut was burned down. The rescued villagers slowly recovered, though none of them would enter the woods again. Edora stopped laughing for months. Chike never climbed a tree again. Ifunanya, once the loudest in the square, became quieter. But they were home. And as for Obina, he became something more than a boy. Not a chief. Not a priest. But a reminder that sometimes the gods are not angry. The land is not cursed. The spirits are not whispering. Sometimes, it's just a person, wearing the face of wisdom, doing things no one wants to believe. And it takes one voice loud, unafraid to drag the truth back into the light. Obina's mother would often tell the story, adding flair and drama when the fire was lit. He went into the forest alone. A boy. And returned with our people like Moses. And Obina would always laugh. I only followed footprints. But the village knew better. They knew his footprints had changed Okporo. Forever.